Coffee beans were introduced in Cuba in the mid-1700s. Cuban coffee spread to Spain and was boosted by French farmers who fled France due to the revolution. Coffee bean sales even rose above sugar in the 1820s, but eventually died down because of the Cuban Revolution. Coffee beans in Cuba are used to represent a lot of culture, and with immigrants from Cuba going to different countries, people like my dad have found a way to continue the tradition.
Cuban coffee is something I've grown up with my entire life. It's something that when I was in grade school, my mother would always make in the morning a little cup of Cuban coffee for my father, and I would have some milk and she would boil some milk for me and pour a little bit of coffee in there, and I just loved the way it tasted. I grew up right at the beginning of the Castro communist takeover. My parents had applied to get out of the country when they saw what was happening politically, and religious rights, economic rights, everything like that was being taken from the people. They put in an application to get out. We were able to get out. My mom, my dad, my younger sister, and we went to Colombia, South America, which was one of the places they were accepting Cuban refugees at the time. We were there about 2 or 3 years. In the summer of 1965, we moved to the United States, first to Miami, and then my father was able to get a job in Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri, on the Mississippi River there. We were there for about 6 years. In 6th grade, I moved to Tampa. I grew up in Tampa with, not until we moved to Tampa were my parents able to find Latin, Hispanic, Cuban culture. At the time of the Cuban Revolution, the independence revolution from Spain in the late 1800s, early 1900s, the Spanish-American War, a lot of the Cuban cigar makers left Cuba and went to Tampa. And those were the two cultural things around Tampa and Florida, were the Cuban coffee and the Cuban cigars. I know with my children, my 2 older sons who are now in college or graduated from college, and Carly in high school, they often have friends over. It's an icebreaker, it's a way to socialize, and it's something people really like the taste of. It is ground a lot finer, so there's more of the coffee gets in. It's brewed with steam as opposed to being brewed with hot water. There's a lot more reaction of the coffee joining up or mixing with the water. It comes out a lot stronger. It doesn't take much. It's, for most part, people like it. It's sweet. It's almost candy-like. It's just a little different. It's something you have to try.
Most of the time, when immigrants move countries or locations, they are forced to forget their past and relearn everything that they were taught. To help facilitate this, many people have different traditions to keep their origins. By using Cuban coffee, my dad is able to keep his connection with his home and connect with others through his experiences. Cuban coffee is and will be a big part of my family for generations to come.